Okay, good evening, guys. We just have a minute, so I'll just wait for more people to pop on. I see that there's a huge influx of people. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hope you've had a wonderful day. I'm just waiting for Reiner to pop back on, but basically, we can pretty much get started. So, it's been a couple of weeks now since, or about 10 over days since the end of United. So this is a little bit overdue, but as they say, better late than never. I just want to thank Millie, James, and Reiner for sharing this time with us to share the updates from United and get across some important messages with us. So really thank you for your time. So we have Millie on the line calling in from Hong Kong and James here in Singapore. So please welcome them, everyone, for this review tonight. And hi, everyone. Thanks for posting in the chat box. Hello. So we'll get started. Millie, are you there?
Yay! Hi, can you see me?
Hello. Hi, you made it after the presentation.
Yeah, I just finished, so rushing back to try to get in front of a steady internet. Hello, everybody. Hello, Samantha. I see people saying hi, so hello back. So yeah, I'm really honored to be here tonight to just share some of the findings from United. Oh my God, hi everyone. Hi. Oh, very cool. So yeah, we just finished one of the biggest events that WorldVenture ever had in the history of our company. It was phenomenal. It was in Texas and also one of the biggest stadium around the world. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest in the US, in the AT&T Stadium. In fact, there were 23,000 of us, our Blue Blood family gathering. Yay! Give that a ho-ho. It was really amazing. As you walk in the stadium, it really feels more like a very nice hotel. And the screen was humongous. It was really big. Well, I happened to be one of the featured speakers, so I've never seen myself being on such a big screen. It was phenomenal. And the opening was, many people said that was one of the best opening ever. It was the Texas Cowboy cheerleader group, and I mean, seriously, I mean, obviously the guy said it was phenomenal, but even the ladies, I was in the house, I was like stunned. They were so good, so amazing. And of course, right after that, we have Wayne Nugent, our founder and our chief visionary officer, sharing his vision with us, which, James is going to talk a little bit more later on with that. So we have lots of great news over the weekend, lots of phenomenal training. There were 10 featured trainers from all over the world that came from each continent. Actually, this is, I think, the first time that we actually have trainers all over from each continent to be sharing at United. So it's really, really phenomenal. So amazing content. So tonight, I just want to, share some of the key takeaways for me. There were obviously everybody brought it. Everybody brought it. And for me, some of the takeaways for me was one of the speech from David Peach. How many of you actually know David Peach? Maybe you can raise your hands. I think I may be able to see you. So, yay! So David Peach is one of the US IMD. He's $1 million ring earner. He actually was, before Asia Sir Irwin came along, he was the fastest IMD that hit IMD in just 10 months and 3 days. And before joining WorldVenture, he actually owned his own chiropractor practice in the US. So he's a phenomenal speaker. He knows what he's doing. And hello, James. and amazing. So his speech at United is, for me, quite refreshing, and also something that all this time along, I've been to every single training of the company. I've never really heard a speaker talk about it, but yet it is such an important topic. It's actually talking about things that you need to do right financially when you build WorldVentures. Financial tips in order at the same time when you're building for WorldVenture. So one of the key things is he said that as a lot of people build WorldVentures, their income goes up, right? They have other money that comes in, but a lot of times people also spend more money because this is what he said. He said because in the society in general, people have the desire to show off success, the need to have what others people have, and the society that favors instant gratifications over hard work. So he actually shared in his entire presentation, there were a lot of statistics that he shared. Most of this is relating to the Americans, but I believe that most of these stats will probably apply globally to a lot of people around the world. So some of the figures that I can share with you is that he said that most people, a lot of people, 63 of the Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $500 US emergency. And over 50% of the Americans don't save a single cent last year. 30% of the Americans have less than $1,000 in the bank account. So Asian, I think maybe we save a little more, but a lot of people are still similarly in a situation that they don't save a lot of money. And he said 32 million Americans face possible bankruptcy within this year. So just a lot of statistics that are very, just a wake-up call for a lot of people. And 65% of the Americans literally live paycheck to paycheck. So his message to us is, as we build our World Venture business, also remember to keep our expenses down and live within our means. So I think if a lot of you know me, I'm pretty big into financial education. I believe that as we build our business, it's also very important that we really looking after our finances so that we can actually provide better living for our family. So that message really hit home with I think that also echoes with Rainer and James. I think that was a pretty cool message for a lot of us, right? Rainer's knocking his head, and it's just also that was the first key message. The second key message that for me that I took home was he mentioned how vacations are really good for us. In fact, he came from a chiropractic background, so he knows all these things about being, healthy, wellness, and all that. And he says, there's so many scientific studies out there that tell people they need to take frequent annual vacations, because as you do that, 21% are less likely to die from any causes, and 32% of those people who take frequent annual vacations are less likely to die from heart disease.
Wow.
So, all right. So he actually did all this, a lot of statistics. So basically, two key messages from him: just keep your expenses down, live within your means, and also take more vacations, have a great time. So we're actually completely on the right track, World Ventures. We have a vehicle that allows people to vacation more, just create amazing memories along the way with our loved ones, and also build our finances at the same time. So we are in very, very good shape. And James will share with you a little more towards the end of this conversation. So another trainer, there are so many things to share, but I just want to share about one other trainer, is Sachin. Sachin from Africa. If you know, he is on the record the youngest IMD in the history of the company. In fact, he hit IMD when he's just only 21 years old, and he built from a market in South Africa, which the average income is probably around 400, $300-400 US a month. So he's doing phenomenal, and at this young age, I have to say, he has a lot of confidence, a lot of posture, and as I spoke with him, he really has done a lot of personal development over the year, and that is the reason why he's so successful, because he has a really successful person mindset, and that is really important. And his key message in his delivery was releasing your inner beast, and he quotes something which I think a lot of people will agree to that. He says, everyone wants to be a beast until it is time to do what real beasts do. Isn't that true? A lot of us go to trainings, we get really motivated. We go to live presentations, we get really motivated. But when it comes to time that we really need to take that action to make a difference in our business, sometimes we hesitate, sometimes we're afraid, right? So he said, really, it's, when you pick up the phone, when you start to inviting, that's when tells the difference between the beast and just people who are talking. So he says, stop talking and start working. In fact, he has a strategy with his top leader. He said he has a campaign called 10 before 10. His leaders and himself, they actually make 10 calls to 10 prospects before 10 a.m. every single morning. That's amazing, isn't it? So that is that they have a lot of discipline, and as you know, the African market is doing really well despite all this situation, the low income and everything happening. So they're really, really disciplined. And Xiaoxin said even at this stage, he's really successful. He has a team of thousands and thousands and making a great income, but he's still working like he's broke. He's just helping other people. He's just doing a lot of supports. He's doing presentation. He's showing people every day. And he said the only job that you have in World Venture is not to convince people. That's not what we do. The only job that we have is to show people that World Venture exists. Our job is just to show people that World Venture exists. And sometimes we're just planting that seeds, and it's sometimes other people's timing or God's timing. So our job is only to show more people, put a person on that seed and show that presentation. Well, he said in his words, it's not very ladylike, but his word, he said, put a butt in that seed. So I'm going to say put a person in that seat. So our only job is to show somebody that World Venture exists. That's our only job. And just go for it and release your inner beast. So that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you, Millie. That is...
Hey, you're welcome.
Unleash that inner beast.
Yes.
Okay.
Very cool.
So we have such an international call today. Rainer, you're in Europe, right?
Yes, I'm in Germany right now. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So I know you have some Rovia updates for us and some takeaways from different trainers as well as from Kyle's recognition speeches.
Yes. Thank you very much for letting me in. I mean, we have a nice day today. It was very cold last night. It was about 7 degrees minus Celsius last night. So it's nice to see you all in the warmth, and I hope you're all happy over there. And let me start by saying Millie has given really a great introduction to the two speakers, which were for me as well the most impressive ones. So she made it hard for me to say anything else. But anyhow, let's go. Rovia, I mean, is our core product, and Rovia is really what we want to look at. And what we looked at in United. By a presentation from Jim Mensch, who I think we all know, and because he is now about 10 months into the business, or maybe 8 months into the business, but he has done a lot of changes. And for the longest time, our core product gives us, if we're very honest, some desires to improve. And I think right now they have taken this very much, this bull by the horn. And Jim is changing things dramatically because he understands that our core product can only be a product that comes from service and serving us as the tool to attract people into the business. So the major decision that they took were that nothing is, or not all the travel has to be centralized and bought by American team, but they have now a regional structure. I think a lot of us know that already. I was very lucky when I was in Berlin before United. I was invited to one of the meetings of the European team. There was about 10 people, and it's amazing to see what kind of work they put in there with George Aramides and Todd and other people in the team in Europe. And I know that in Asia the same thing is happening right now, and that is really promising because the target is to basically produce product for the region, for the people in the region, but also separately product in the region for people outside of the region. And that makes a big difference to us because, I mean, it's very clear if you want to go as an Asian team, you want to go to Paris and nobody speaks French, you need a English-speaking or maybe even a Chinese-speaking host, and that has to be taken into consideration even in the pricing. So that is something that I think is really, really important to understand, that there are major changes, and they walk the talk because even Jim Mensch's boss, Josh Payne, is basically providing a lot of funds and a lot of understanding. And I think James is going to talk about that a bit later. What also came up and is very impressive is that they have now strategic alliances with airlines, for example. So a lot of people came to United on very, very special tickets, and that will be going on in the future as well, so that we really know that we have a great deal when we fly through our booking engine. very, very nicely. Another thing that I think is really important to mention is that they listen to a lot of leaders in the field, not only Asian, but European and American, and they will offer dream trips. Listen to this. They will offer dream trips on a payment scheme, which means you can actually have installments for your dream trip and not have to pay the whole cruise in one day, but you can pay it over the next 6 months or whatever. So they were coming up with really, really good new things for us to make it easier for everybody to travel. And one of the major strategic changes or add-ons that are happening is that they align Rovia with a company called Virtuoso. And we had a long speech from the GM of Virtuoso, which basically gave us a lot of confidence that this now is going to go into a completely different dimension of travel. And that makes me really feel good. So one of the things is that this guy was mentioning is that technology that we thought would destroy us is now setting us free, because we now can sit at any pool at anywhere. I can sit in Germany, do a presentation to the people in Asia about a trip I made to United in America. So those things are possible, and the same thing we can do in book travel wherever we are and with whatever tool that we want to have. I think that's really amazing. And what also is a different approach from Virtuoso towards travel is basically you don't invest to get a return. So it's not a return on investment you're looking for when you're going on to a vacation, but it's the return on life that you are looking for, which basically Millie mentioned before. You want to be healthy, you want to be happy, and that is an investment in your life. It doesn't really need to be a return on investment just because it was very cheap. So the next thing to mention about him and about the whole story is that travel transforms people, and it transforms lives, it transforms careers, the economy, and the world, which I totally agree with. I mean, everybody who starts traveling for the first time is getting so much in a different direction. And for me, the most important thing in there is the tolerance that people have amongst each other, between religion, between beliefs, between everything. Because once you have been in their life and in their environment, you understand much better what is the situation. And the point really leads me to the next, what I wanted to talk about, which is Kyle. Because Kyle was saying that our business is actually changing the personal life of a lot of individuals. And I thought it was very, very great of him not to talk about statistics and how great the company was, but really talk about people, because he said he wants to show how the people have been touched by World Ventures. And we, I think, as a team being over there, we're extremely proud to know that and find out that a lot of people were given to, as an example, to 23,000 people in the arena, and they were from Asia. And I mean, I would like to recognize them just personally, which is in the first place, the first ones to be mentioned was Karen and Joseph, Karen Wong and Joseph Teo. And it's so amazing to see on a huge screen. I mean, the screen was as big as a swimming pool, and you see a face, and you know that face, and you know how many things go through their minds while they are looking at themselves and they are getting presented. This must make everybody very proud. And it was so nice that they were recognized for having much more time for their children, much more time in their lives together. And I mean, even yesterday, if you look at Karen's Facebook, what has happened there, it was so fantastic what she had organized. I really loved that. The next one was really even more surprising, because it was Sunita Thomas from KL. And she really was recognized for the fact that she took her life in her hand, and basically through World Ventures became somebody who could speak freely in front of people, and having been such a shy person. And I really see, again, Sunita, that was great to see you there, being in the front row. That's really nice. The next person, of course, not to forget, is the dream couple of World Ventures Asia, which is Apple and Dr. Lee. And I mean, I saw them when they started, and I saw them as people with their heads down, running through 16-hour stages of their lives a day. And now they are the heads up travelers taking pictures. I could not even take so much pictures. So what I'm trying to say with all this is it was very, very personalized. This session was giving everybody an insight how personal this can be. And that was the final sentence of Kyle. He said that the way World Ventures changes the lives is the secret and the magic sauce of the company. And that, I think, is absolutely crazy. To finish off, I just want to say, good, Millie, you didn't do any right with the Texas Cowboy cheerleaders. That was really a female kind of approach. I can tell you guys, if you ever miss this, I can tell you it's incredible. I know people, they woke up every morning watching the video on and on and on again. I don't mention names, but you know, they were really, really hyped up so that the girls actually sometimes got jealous. But you know what? When you saw it after these guys guided Wayne off the stage, you would have seen the best of the day. Wrong, totally wrong, because next up was Millie. And it was so amazing to see her up on stage. This was impressive. So she was giving us all, you know her. She always gives you teaching and she always gives you details. But the underlying thing that everybody could really feel was how strong she has been working throughout the last years. And she just took the people by surprise that she was working so hard and getting the success, homemade success out of it. Congratulations, Millie. You were fantastic. So the next one, Shane Anderson from Australia, and he had the tough luck that his video or his slides didn't show up. They would just not come up. So he would speak for half an hour without his supporting slides. And he was doing a fantastic job in explaining to us that when he understood that helping is what we are doing, that he at that moment grew his business tremendously. And of course, Wes Melcher, we all know him, was doing a great job in showing us that we have the real deal. But again, as Sachin, as everybody else, they were all saying, you have to work your butt, otherwise you can't get on. So in conclusion, for me, the 4 points that are coming out is outproduce your team and make more than anybody else so that they can all follow and you become the leader. Lead from the front, by basically enrolling more than anybody in your team. And now is definitely not a time like for us, like for Millie, even for James, it's not the time to slow down. 2017 is a very decisive year. We want to crack the billion and we have to all put together our hands and crack that billion. So build with with customers a lot. Build a lot of customers. Don't get everybody into working with you, but build as much. Give the people the feeling that you can go anywhere in the world just by joining us, and make sure that everybody ends up in the indoor stadium in the boot camp this May. I just personally come over there and I just want to see it, because I know 5 years ago I told James we're going to go in the indoor stadium and I got a shaking head, and now I got you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rainer. It's not early over there, is it? It's the afternoon?
No, it's the afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock.
Okay, and last but not least, James, the ultimate vision caster, you are going to give us some takeaways from Wayne's speech, vision, and some of the other amazing rollouts that we have with Dream Body and everything else. Yeah.
All right. Well, listening to Millie and Rainer talking about that is literally like a flashback to what the excitement, that whole room full of excitement and I would say hope into the future. And again, Wayne painted us that vision. I would definitely say that before I even get started, I mean, thank you each and every one of you coming on right now to I know we started half an hour later than normal and you're still here. In fact, I think a lot of you are still on the call looking forward to this update. And thank you, Christina, for hosting this and making it happen for all of us. And once this is recorded, I would say this one one call, it's going to help you position yourself so far ahead than others who have no idea what we are talking about right now. I mean, if I were to go back to about 6.5 years ago when I first started and looking at this right here, I know I'm in a good company, I'm in a good space because I have a 5-year track record with a company that has already built something over 5 years. Now, whoever is looking at this with us right now, you have actually a decade worth of hard work and real work and literally results being shown over the last 10 years, and now is showing up even more to back us up in growing into the future. That is just incredible. And of course, just out of today, before this call, we all received that incredible news, and I'm sure right now it's flooding all over social media and telling the whole world that last year we were at position number 32, and this year alone we just ramped up another notch. You know, we went up to 25 largest direct selling company in the world. You know, that is exactly what's happening over the last couple of years. The company has been climbing and climbing, you know, up, all because of the work and people, more and more people catching on this vision together with Wayne, our co-founder. This is really something very exciting. I mean, I would just even again go back to when we first started. We have literally nothing, you know, going on. We are just kind of leaning on whatever was happening overseas and whatever is going to happen, that we start building something. And right now, today, as we are already seeing that fruit, you know, that we have been talking about, I mean, everything is all about casting the vision and how we actually lead the pack into the future. I mean, every company out there always talk about what they are coming. I mean, look at Facebook today. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg just had his F8 conference and everything, and talking about the future and whatever he's creating. I mean, if we are talking about building a business and a legacy program right here, this is what we are all here for. And that's why I want to congratulate each and every one of you watching right now, because if you don't paint that vision, you will never get ahead because you are stuck at present. I know we all need to be present, but the thing is, you have to look ahead. When you are clear enough of that vision, I'll tell you, you'll lead like tons of people following you. All right, this is the whole premise of why this call is so important. And if you are listening even up to this point, I will call you a visionary. I will call you someone that already kind of in sync or on par with all of us on this call, that we are here working together. I mean, you're not a tourist. If you're not just a customer, not just a member sitting right here trying to hear us preach. Now, we are here trying to synchronize everybody so that we could move forward. And of course, by what is going on, and I mean, our core product from word of Wayne, our core product is still the trips. It's still the travel. We are in this travel space that has never been kind of diluted in any form. We are here focusing on how do we create that product to benefit all our membership, right? All our members, people who subscribe to this. But what is even more interesting is when we start seeing all these new products, you know, new lines of products coming on board. I mean, those who get it got excited, but those who didn't, or just hear about it, they might just got a little confused, right? What is going on? Are we, you know, especially when they hear about the dream body, you know, and when they start seeing some products and everything, you know, being posted somewhere, and they will say, did we dilute ourselves, and are we moving into the lotions, potions, and pills kind of company or deal? No, of course not. I mean, it would be insane if we go back. That's called digress, right? So that's like going backwards. We are, in fact, so far ahead of what Wayne has in mind. And right here, I just want to paint a little bit more to at least get you in sync what Wayne is talking about, what the company is heading towards. And once you get that idea, you will know that you will never ever want to even leave at this point. Okay, so if you can still leave, I don't know, but let just hear me out on this first. Okay, I just want to help all of you pave out what is right here into the future. I mean, we are not futuring it because this is work in progress. Okay, so when you start seeing all these dream body products, of course we first launch the dream body dream trips, so we get all the people involved with the health and wellness and all that stuff. But eventually, in fact, we just had some tasting of some products, and all that stuff, protein shake powders, and all that stuff. We tasted. I mean, some of us actually tasted it. Actually, they taste pretty good. But not just that, this is the psyche behind why this is happening. Now, we are already going to use some form of this product anyway. As a member or as a business builder, yes, we talk about travel, but as we travel, as we go and do that lifestyle and all that stuff, we're going to take protein shake. We're going to eat something, vitamin C and all that stuff as we travel. Now, what happened here is that if we're already going to use those products, which a lot of times people have to bump it up because they have to pay commissions out of those products. Now, what we have our resources right here is that Wayne and the team, dedicated team of people going out there who source for the best ingredient, best product, and say that give us the best efficacy products. Give us everything you got. We don't need to bump it up. We don't need to readjust those ingredients so as we can actually match out the compensation plan or whatever to pay out in commissions to people. Therefore, we can actually reduce those costs and give all of us the best ingredient. Now, once that is done, we do it into our branding. Instead of going out there where all of us gonna go, I'll just tell you my own dilemma. Right now, yes, people see, what do you use, James? What do you eat? What do you drink? And all that stuff. I'm in a dilemma. I want a good product, and when I use that good product, and if it come from an XYZ company, it's tough for me to even use it openly because people will say, oh, is James doing that as well and all that stuff? It's kind of like confusing for a lot of people. But now, because of our resources that Wayne has this huge vision of, which save all of us, I would say, because he gave us the best product, I have no qualms to actually buy them at the best price, best rate. I will use it with pride because it's our products, because it's a part of a membership benefit. That means I get the best products that I don't even have to spend what if we could use our points to burn them? I mean, this is just, if you think it a little bit more, and people who actually help us devise and create all these products are the people who create for all that big brands out there. They know what's good. And I'll tell you one conversation that a lot of all this time, when they create those products for companies, the companies will have to come back and say, we have to adjust somewhat because that pricing just don't work, because they have to pay out commissions. But they love working with us right now. You know why? Because we don't even bother about paying out commissions on that, because that's not our model. We are saying, give us the best product so that we can give it out to our members. So when that happens, when we have a good product that I don't even care if people buy them or not, and I can just consume it, and I can openly even say, yeah, I love that because this is what I use. And then I have no problem at all. And that would also means that anyone out there selling the lotions, potions, and pills now kind of got to wake up a little, right? Because if they say, well, if I can join a membership, I could travel, I could earn points, I could use points, I could have access to incredible, good efficacy products that is out there in the market, why not? And they will just come on board and be our member, isn't it? So there's so many things that's positioned out there today that the company is creating for us into the future. So that's why this is what is kind of keeping that fire burning so much. I'm more excited right now than I would tell you that when I first started. Because at that point, it was just travel. Right now, we're talking about lifestyle. And what about the fly card? I know it's not here yet. Again, the company is testing out so many times. I mean, I have the ability to use that card, in US. I just try it out. I just basically activate that card, and at that point of payment, and they saw that light blinking and that whole card, all I asked was, are you interested to find out more when we actually have this launched? And the people back at the counter said, yeah, get my contact, So it's like literally we're talking about connecting people with that whole infrastructure and whatever we're building here. I mean, there are exciting times out there that we're going to change and revolutionize this whole entire lifestyle platform. All right. There's so many things that are happening. Eddie mentioned it, even, oh, by the way, the company over the last 7 years has grown from about 200 million right now up close to almost $1 billion. Now, hear this carefully. Whatever from that point brought us here may not bring us further, right? So we need to have the right people, the people with that kind of scale that could actually lead us there, bring us there, right? And I must say that we are so blessed. This company is just blessed that we actually brought in our new COO, Brian Wing, and also Josh Payne, who is actually our CEO for Rovia. These two gentlemen alone, basically, they are dealing with billions of dollars of companies, right? They are actually talking about that. I'll tell you, we are even talking about, I don't know if I should even mention it. Yeah, we are bringing in on board, looking at a CFO that has done over $20 billion company to become our CFO. So literally, when we talk about this, think of it this way. Now, what we have done over the last 7 to 8 years, all the way from 10 years now, 11 years, we have brought up to almost $1 billion. But people that now we are able to bring in that stretch this further is going to bring us to multiple $1 billion. And we have that leadership that is actually now working in sync with whatever Wayne's vision is. Mike Remedios, right? So all these people are coming, they're attracting even more of all these talents, people who have literally been able to lead us into multiple $1 billion company. So we are not like trying to tread the water or kind of like going through the dark space without any idea. We are getting all this leadership from all this experience, leaders in the C-level to actually help us get there. So this is nothing short of being exciting for all of us. So really, I mean, I could spend another hour or two talking about all that in much in depth, but definitely this is not that I want to bore all of you down with that for the next 2 hours. But listen, if you are listening in up to this point, get back to whoever, if you have never been so charged up before or never want to be engaged at this point, up to this point, and now you want to know more about it, get back to all the leaders, people who have connected you with this information, and people who will know where to lead you to those paths that we have walked before. Let us go join force and then take this on to the next level. I mean, we have already walked that path for at least 7 years right now, and there are leaders out there who have walked this for 11 years. Now, we are going for another decade, 2 decades. Wayne has no short-term goal here. He's building this to make it a legacy with all of us. So all of us included. So that's why this is exciting times. We are in 30 markets right now, in the whole entire world. But what about launching, another 10 markets over the next 2 years? And what about launching more markets over the next 10 years? This is just going to continue to grow, but we need people with the right mindset, right attitude, and everything coming together. We cannot conquer the world or change this with just a few of us here. We need all of you. We need everyone here working together, same line, same tandem, walking the same path. So that's how this thing is working. So in fact, right here, I just want to encourage any one of you looking at this right now, come for our boot camp in Singapore. As Rainer said, yes, this time round, we booked the indoor stadium. I mean, if I were to go back then when I first started, when I say that, everybody's going to look at me like a crazy one. Everyone's looking at me and said, will that even ever happen? Now, it is happening, guys. It is happening right before our eyes. So if you want to be part of it and come and let's rock Asia together, this is the time. Okay, so really appreciate all of you. Millie, Rainer, Christina, thank you for hosting us, and all of you for being on this call. So you should be here.
Thank you so much, James. Wow, just so fired up listening to all the updates. And any indication of when the fly card is going to be available in this part of the world?
Okay, I don't know exactly when, but I know that Asia should be launched pretty soon after US. So US is not even launched yet. We are still in beta. But definitely, if you guys want Asia to be the next after US, then there's work to be done. There are things that we need to in sync. There are things that we need to come together and work together and make it happen, because results will bring where the fly kite flies.
Okay, so we have our marching orders. Fill up that stadium and get to work, everyone. Okay, thank you so much, Millie, Rainer, James, and thank you, the almost 200 people that are on this call right now, still on the call. So, have a great evening and a fantastic weekend. Show more people faster.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you, Christina.
bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank
Night.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.